I would have made more gains a lot sooner if I knew this one secret method to help blow up my training. Now, this method that I'm talking about isn't really that complex or really that challenging, or in fact, you might even know what it is already, right? But the very essence of this method is what helped me make more gains and go from the skinny fat brown monkey to a more jacked and bigger version of myself. So these 4 points were all the things that I was doing wrong when I first started going to the gym. Now, high volume, the 10 different exercises, they pretty much go hand in hand together. But the reason why they're on the list as why I wasn't able to make more gains during my newbie years, it's because I didn't when you first go into the gym, it's all right if you do 10 different exercises, if you do high volume, only because you're new to the gym, you don't know what you're doing, and you're just exploring, and you hear guys on the internet saying, gotta do this by 12 reps, you gotta do this by 10 reps for 4 sets. That's completely fine. What I'm talking about is after your 6 months of your newbie gains that have been over, it's kind of time to transition to a new method, because if you just stick to doing high volume with 10 different exercises with 4 sets of 12 on each exercise, you're not going to be making gains at all. You're just going to be hitting plateau after plateau after plateau, and you're not going to get bigger or you're not going to get stronger. Because if you want to build muscle, right, to build muscle, to get respect from guys, to get looks like the eyes from the women, right, you cannot just stick to doing high volume with 10 different exercises because it's not going to help you grow. Because this is what I was doing, right? Doing 10 different, I remember having a spreadsheet, like a Google spreadsheet, where it'd be 8 to 10 different exercises. And it was an upper day, or I think it was a push pull day. And it would be, I don't know, cable curls, or no, lat pull downs, incline dumbbell bench press, flat dumbbell bench press, and then seated row and 3 different isolations. When I was doing that kind of exercise, that much volume, I was making zero to no gains at all. I might have gone a little bit, but again, it's not noticeable enough to get respect from guys. And again, this doesn't work because you're spreading your focus way too thin. Who do you think is going to make more gains? Guy A or guy B? Guy A does 10 different exercises with a lot of volume, going to mild discomfort and all those sets. Or guy B, who does 2 to 3 compound lifts, maybe 1 or 2 isolations, and you just focus on 2 sets, but really maximizing muscle stimulation and getting to failure. He's training with the purpose of getting stronger, because as you get stronger and stronger and stronger, you get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because Mike Mentzer said this years back. He was a bodybuilder in the bronze era, or no, the golden era, and he advocated for high intensity training. Now, in today's world, that's probably a lot different, but basically, as the muscle gets stronger and stronger, the muscle, the size of it, will get bigger and bigger. So as your strength goes up and up, your muscle size will also go up and up. And if you're training like this, doing the high volume 10 different exercises with very short rest time and hitting plateaus consistently, and you want to get out, get jacked, get respect from the guys, get looks from the women, click the top link down below in the description right now, where I'll hop on a call with you and just give out free game so that you can get that respect that you want from the guys and the looks from the women. Now, the next 2 points are, resting, but very short rest periods, and training to mild discomfort. Because I guess it makes sense to it makes sense why you do it. You're not training that hard, so you don't need to rest that much. And it's a problem. These two are a problem in itself, because again, back to what Mike Mentzer was saying, you need to get stronger in order to build muscle. Sure, there might be some variants of high, top tier genetics that overrules that, but that's not the majority of people. You're probably the average of the people, and you have regular muscle building genetics. So what you need to focus on progressive overload, and you progress the overload by going to failure and increasing the weight and reps week by week, workout by workout, until you get strong enough where you see size improvements. Because again, imagine this: who do you think is going to have a bigger chest? The guy who does 135 bench press, and he takes that all the way to 225 pounds for, I don't know, 10 reps. he started at 6 reps, or the guy who does 135 for 3 reps of 8 and goes up by like 20 pounds because he has to get all reps of 8 on all 3 sets. Obviously, the first guy who's just going from 135 to 225, because again, as your strength increases, so will your muscle size. And if you're doing training to mild discomfort with like very short rest periods, you're not going to build that much muscle. It's just not going to happen. So this is why you got to train with a purpose, with intensity. And you got to be struggling to work out. Like by the end of it, you shouldn't be like you should be sore by the end of the workout, is what I'm trying to say. Now, how do I train? Well, I train with a purpose, I rest like a king, and I do low to moderate volume. Now, I know that kind of sounds like cliche, but hear me out. When I say I train with a purpose, I train aiming to get stronger into hypertrophy rep range because I know that as you get stronger and stronger, your muscle size will get bigger and bigger. Like back to the example of like taking 135 bench press to 225. If you take 1 plate to 2 plates, your chest will definitely have gone bigger, no questions asked. Sure, there's some outliers, the genetic variants. Some people can override it, but for a strong 90% majority of the people, getting just stronger will be enough just to get bigger. Now, you might disagree with me and say, no, but training for strength is for strength. I want to get bigger. I want to get bigger muscles. Hear me out. When I first started training, I thought the exact same thing too. I thought training for strength is not something I wanted. I want to get bigger muscles. I want to train for hypertrophy. But here's the thing. How do you get hypertrophy? You do it by progressive overload. Now, how do you progressive the overload, right? You do it by getting stronger. But then it comes back to like, I don't want to get stronger. I want my chest to get bigger. That's fine. You just need to get stronger in the hypertrophy rep ranges anywhere from like 6 to 30, where it's more likely to 8 to 15, anywhere in that range. So if you increase your weight, your reps within that range of 8 to 15 reps, you will build hypertrophy by, muscle size. And again, you're getting stronger in that. So by getting stronger, you'll build muscle size. Resting like a king comes from the fact that you're already training with a purpose. You're going to failure, you're hitting that intensity, and you need a lot of time to recover, right? So I rest 5 to 7 minutes. Some of people might say that's too much. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, honestly, I'm trying to rest. I just went through like a very tough set. Just rest as much as like your body, like your mind is like, just rest as much as you need, right? 5 to 7 minutes is a good rule of thumb because again, you're going through like a very intense set, and I need to go through that exact same effort in my next set because I'm only doing 2 sets and I'm just like resting 5 to 7 minutes. And if I can rest that 5 to 7 minutes, again, I'm like able enough to go max effort into that second set with getting like a good amount of reps in. And finally, the third thing is doing low to moderate volume. When I first started training, people were saying that you need to get to 10 to 20 weekly sets to see effective muscle growth. And they were wrong. Why? Because again, intensity triumphs volume when it comes to building muscle. You don't need that much volume to build muscle. You're just better off with intensity because, again, you're giving your muscles a reason to grow. And you do that by getting stronger and stronger. Again, back to the example of the bench press. You take a bench press from 135 to 225, and by default, your chest will get bigger. For low to moderate volume, my sets for my back is like around eight sets per week. For my chest, also 8, and then sometimes I'll do isolations for like my low back, my biceps. Well, not really biceps because pull-ups. I mainly do pull-ups, and I get like a great pump, and they also get stimulated for muscle growth during pull-ups. So you don't really need to do curls. I might do some extensions, lateral raises for the delts, but apart from those, I don't do much else. I just keep it 1 to 2 isolations per workout for that designated day. And yeah, that's how I've been making gains because doing low to moderate volume with like 8 total weekly sets per major muscle. So my chest 8, my back 8, and then my bicep might get like my triceps get like 1 to 2 sets. Because from the extensions and then from the dips and then from incline pressing, your tricep will be more than enough fully functional or like fully stimulated for muscle growth. And again, I'm training with a purpose. The purpose is to get stronger, which I'm doing all of those sets. And I'm also resting for a good enough time so that I can go to max effort again on the second set. The way I want to think, the way for your rest periods, like how you designate them, is on the compounds, rest anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, and on isolations, 4 to 5 minutes, and like basically 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But if you do these three things in the gym, you'll 100% get bigger, destroy any of your plateaus, and you will build an aesthetic or bigger physique that you've been wanting to get other guys' respect or get the girls to like make a quick side eye to that. Now, if you found this video very helpful, go down there, click the like, subscribe, and comment down below. But if you also want to get more information like this and you want to get the respect from guys, click the top link down below in the description where I will personally take your hand and guide you step by step in the process so that you can build a strong and a muscular physique.